Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about 4 ways to harmonize your heart and your brain financially. It's like, what? My heart actually goes into my financial decisions? I know. It's kind of an oxymoron almost, because so often we don't actually take into account the human heart when we're making our financial decisions. But we are all human beings, and so it's an important component to bring along the way, and we have to harmonize it with our brain. Otherwise, what happens to us is we wind up in this battle between our heart and our brain, and it creates all this disconnect inside of your system. And I'm going to share these 4 tips with you because it's really important for us to get in harmony. Tip number 1 is that we want to recognize, truly deeply recognize the connection between our heart and our brain. And it starts with this concept called coherence. Now, there's an organization called HeartMath, and you can find them at heartmath.org. They have done all kinds of research when it comes to the heart-brain connection. So HeartMath in their research have realized that the human heart actually has a magnetic force that goes up to 8 miles long, but here's the thing, our minds only go for 2 feet, and they've got all the research behind this. So when we actually only make our financial decisions from our logical brain, then what happens is we're forgetting the most important component that's going to actually bring into us what it is that we desire in our life, whether it's a different financial situation, different relationships, or our health. Because as you guys know, if you've heard me talk, we always do that. We either work things out or we act it out, and we do it through our money, through our health, and through our relationships. So it's really important that we start to look at this heart-brain coherence connection. So when we activate our hearts, then we actually start to magnify what we want. So in Joe Dispenza's book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself and Creating a Whole New Mind, a book that I have given to many of my clients, he talks about the fact that every emotion that we have has a different megahertz. And so you got high vibing emotions that are happiness, joy, gratitude, love. They vibrate at a higher level. They can now measure that. Emotions of the heart, right? Then lower vibration, competition, lust, hate, those are lower vibe, and they can actually measure that. And so what we want to do is we want to tap into those emotions of the heart that are of the highest vibration, because then you're not going to get mixed results along the way on your financial path. So how do we harmonize that? We harmonize that by actually connecting what we feel and what we think and what we speak all along the way. So now I just want you to recognize that. And if you need to go down the research path and go check out some of this research from HeartMath or Dr. Joe Dispenza, by all means, let's satisfy that ego mind and get you to number 2. So step number 2 is I need you to harmonize in your physical. So what happens is when we are hijacked in our nervous system, so anxiety, fear, you name it, right? If our nervous system is hijacked, you have to physiologically actually shift that. How do you do that? Well, there's a couple tips and tools. So there's this thing called havening as an example. So if you're sitting there, and you may want to do this in a business meeting, but I'll give you another one for a business meeting. But you're sitting there and you're going, okay, I can tell my nervous system's hijacked. I got triggered by whatever's going on in the world. And so what I need to do is I need to drop back into my heart, because I'm right now up in my brain and I'm in anxiety mode. So how we do that is havening. Havening, cross your arms, and I just want you to go down 20 times. 1, 2, 3. Do that 20 times. And I know you may feel a little silly doing this, but I am telling you, you will not harmonize your heart and your brain in your financial decisions if your nervous system is hijacked. We have got to get your nervous system in a state of neutrality. Because when your nervous system is hijacked, what you actually do is you make decisions from your limiting belief patterns. All those patterns that hardwired into your amygdala, in your subconscious brain, that actually creates your suffering patterns. Because remember, based on the work from the biology of belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he has proven from a biological perspective that 97% of our experience, our reactions to the outside world actually come from our subconscious mind that was fully developed by the time we're 7 years old. So, when your nervous system hijacked, if you want to keep repeating the patterns that you've done financially, well, then make decisions in your brain from a hijacked position. But if you don't want to do that and not keep repeating your financial past, then I need you to get your nervous system into a state of neutrality. So you can start to rewire your subconscious mind in a new, healthier state of neutrality position. So havening is one of them. Now let's say you're actually in a business meeting and you're like, yeah, I can't really sit there and go rubbing my arms. I think my coworkers might think I'm a little crazy. Well, you're definitely not crazy. You're just trying to calm your nervous system because somebody across the table just said something and it triggered you, and you don't want to make any bad decisions because you're dealing with the budget that you're going to be held to for your bonuses for the next year. Do you see the ripple effect? That's how it happens. Well, here's one you can do in a business meeting. I want you to sit there and take one leg and cross it over the other leg. Not just put your ankle on your knee on the one side. That's what I'd like you to do. And all you have to do is have one hand on your right knee and one hand on your left ankle and just sit there. Physiologically, what that does, it actually calms your nervous system. So 2 things that you can do, and there are many other tools to calm your nervous system. If you want to dig deeper on those, join my Awaken Your Relationships on Thursdays or look at past videos, because Rita Hickman, who is the expert in relationships, is really good at physiologically helping people get out of a hijacked nervous system. And these are some of the tools that she's taught me. All right. So let's go to tip number 3 in how to harmonize your brain and your heart when it comes to making financial decisions. The third one is, I need you to trust your gut. I know. It's like, wait a minute, but I got to make the right decision and I want to make sure. But you know all the financial right answers in many instances in your life. But you can't take the step forward because you're like, like there's some angst or some other inside of you that is sitting here going, but. And it's like, just no buts, no coconuts. All right. Let's actually know, like truly know, that trusting your gut is actually a good thing. But our highly educated and trained minds and our entire system these days is not set up to add your intuition and your gut into your financial decisions. The problem is that we're not showing up in the world with authenticity and in our truth. So what do I mean by that? I mean the fact that you're not always speaking what's true for you because you're trying to monitor and measure of the audience that you're speaking to, and should you and shouldn't you, and like we get into this monkey mind. It's like right? But we're not trusting our gut. Do you know there are more neurological messages that go from your gut to your brain than any other place in your physical body? Yet, that's the piece that we have not actually honored or taken into consideration, or even we've overrode it for years. So the third tip to really actually start to harmonize your heart and your brain, you've got to trust your gut. Because what happens is when you trust your gut, you drop into your heart, and then your brain will kick in after that, and it'll make all the right decisions. Think about it as like it's building like a tower. Start with your gut in your lower chakras, first and second, third chakra. Then you go into your heart. Your heart gives you that state of neutrality, and it's in tune and it's grounded, and that's your fourth chakra. And then you go up to 5, 6, and 7. And that is using that amazing, smart, trained brain of yours to actually then add your smarts after you followed your heart, which was preceded by your gut and your knowing. All right? That's tip number 3. Now let's go to number 4. Number 4 is, let's actually go through a meditation, if you will. So again, this is a gift from Heart Math and the work that Greg Braden has done with Heart Math. Again, Greg Braden is another one. If you need the proof and you need the science behind this stuff, he's another great one to check out. And we want to apply this here into your financial world. Why not? We can apply it into our personal world, into our health, and why not our money? Because the money is actually just the result of everything else going on in your life. So this meditation is really simple. It could take you 3 minutes a day, and it will absolutely harmonize your heart and your brain so you can make very sustainable, healthy financial decisions. So the first step is, I need you to just put your hand on your heart. I don't care if it's finger or hand or whatever. And I know, okay, bear with me. So many people come here for financial decisions, and I am giving you out-of-the-box solutions because what you've tried all along hasn't worked. So let's go to this next step. Trust me. Put your hand on your heart and tune in. Then what I want you to do is that we need to slow your breathing down, because too often we don't take deep, complete, full breaths. It's almost like, think of this like as financial yoga, if you will, right? So breathe in for the count of 5, and then out of your mouth by the count of 8. I want you to do that at least 10 times. Breathe in through your nose, up to the count of 5, and then out to the count of 8. You can already start to see yourself, after just 2 breaths that we did together, how you start to drop more into your heart and you feel more grounded. Because this is what harmonizes your heart and your brain. It brings more oxygen up to your brain so that you can clear the space that has been jammed up with all those thoughts and all that problem solving and all that reiteration of all the scenarios of everything in your life. The third step is, after you've taken those 10 deep breaths of in by the count of 5 and out by the count of 8, is that I now want you to feel the feelings as if you have already had exactly the life that you desire, financially, personally, professionally. Because if you can feel the feelings as to what it already feels like to be retired, or already have the money for your kids' college put away, or that your debt is all gone and how you're going to feel once that debt is all paid off. If you can get to a place in these meditations to where you're actually feeling the feelings as if it's already happened, that is turning on the strongest magnet in the entire universe. And that is the human heart. That is how important it is to include and harmonize your heart with your brain. I've put a couple links below so that you can get my book, Awaken Your Wealth, for free. All you have to do is pay for your shipping, because there are more tips and tools in there to get you to a place that you love in your life and that you are thriving with lots of joy, happiness, and gratitude. Thanks, everybody.